Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts. Last time, I guess I got possessed, so I don't know what happened, but now I'm off to play a Disney level coming up pretty soon, probably.
Yeah, I don't see why this would be any different, so we'll see what you're up against sooner than later. Usually these only take 2 or 3 minutes to get to the world.
Typically around now is where we start to wonder if someone else from another world comes by, so I can only imagine that's also coming up in a minute or so, since that's how it's been the past few times. And hopefully no possessions this time.
I'm not sure who we will be seeing, but somehow I think there's going to be someone joining us. Before that happens, Joe, since you're playing, you're not going to be at a very difficult part, but you should be careful to not pet the dog, regardless of your feelings. That will make more sense later. Also, you won't actually seal the keyhole in the world, as we'll come back to this one in particular a few times.
As long as it's not too difficult, then I'll be okay. I hope I get to meet Tarzan in this place wherever I'm going to.
No, Joe, you are not going to see Tarzan. He was in the previous world. But Jordan was right in that we'll go back to this world another time, which is actually the case for Traverse Town, so we'll need to go there later on after you're done here, since there are a few things to do there that we couldn't before.
You're going to have to remind me later. You know how my memory is.
Yeah, we already planned on it, and honestly, I'm surprised you even remembered how to get out of bed this morning.
It took me longer than I care to admit.
All right, heads up, everyone. I'm sensing another presence that I haven't felt before. This doesn't look like anything we've experienced yet, so be prepared for anything.
We've already gotten another Joe and an unspecified entity of darkness, so I wonder what's coming up next. I wonder if it's another me. Or maybe it's someone completely new.
Huh? This isn't right. Not at all. What in existence is happening in the Omniverse right now? I'm not even supposed to be conscious. Where am I?
Hey, is that Alex Jones from InfoWars? I never thought we'd get an Alex here from our own world, much less another one. Kind of weird how out of 3 people, so far only one of them has actually been a president.
It seems you're aware of what's going on here, and I'm not the first visitor to this universe. It's clear to me that something is at play here, but what it is, I can't say for sure.
Yeah, we're still looking into that, but yes, we're at least vaguely aware of the prospect of other universes by now. It's good to see you, Alex. I wouldn't say the same for our version, but you seem to be a lot different with all the robot parts to you.
Hey, is there a way I can get my voice like that? I've always dreamed of being a robot, or at least having one of those voice-changing things. I feel like it would make people view me more seriously.
Joe, how is that the most notable thing you've noticed about all of this just now?
Ben, the last time we played this game, I got possessed for nearly half an hour and didn't even know it. Then the time before that, I met another me. This isn't that weird by comparison.
Wow, even Joe's making sense today. Suddenly Alex from another world isn't the weirdest thing to happen all day.
Yeah, I can't even argue with that. More importantly, though, this is the next world being the Olympus Coliseum from Hercules. This is a pretty interesting world gameplay-wise.
Oh yeah, I like this movie.
Once again, I find myself in the vexing circumstance of working with presidential figures. May I ask, is your universe also at stake? I fear that scenario is becoming more commonplace. We could always use more heroes.
I'm not quite sure if our world is at stake right now. I know that the gaps between universes are starting to weaken, so that would probably cause our universe to be at stake, though I don't think that it's an immediate concern. As for heroes, I wouldn't call any of us heroes necessarily.
Damn it. I knew such things were happening, but now it's happening at an alarming rate. I'm glad this universe has people who are aware of the issue, though. I hope you can handle it.
To be honest with you, Alex, the presidents aren't all that knowledgeable on this. Jordan and Ben are the ones who have been studying this, but we're just kind of playing games together and hoping it all works out.
Not a great way to fill him with confidence, but yeah, you're right. I think it would be good to get some knowledge from you since you seem more experienced with this than even we are.
I want to listen to this small guy first, though.
Good timing. Give me a hand, will you? Move that pedestal over there for me. I gotta spruce this place up for the games.
It seems the first task for Sora is to just move a single object.
I'm well aware it's a process, but if you fail at such a menial task, it doesn't exactly look good for an aspiring hero. And here we have our globalist overlords extending into yet another universe, having their drones stand idly by while good people suffer in their attempts to improve. It's a story as old as time itself.
Leave it to Alex Jones to be the first person in human history to refer to Donald Duck and Goofy, whatever his last name is, to be called a globalist overlord.
Donald Duck and Goofy are more than likely globalist plants, hovering over you a lot like a couple of leeches sent to foil your plans and corrupt this universe. You'll see.
Prepare for the games, so run along, pipsqueaks. Look, it's like this. Heroes are coming from all over to fight ferocious monsters right here in the Coliseum.
You've got heroes standing right in front of you.
So, what's with you presidents And YouTube, by the way. What's that all about? And I take it these versions of you, Ben and Jordan, must be presidents as well.
That's a flattering guess, but no, Ben and I are just around for the purposes of studying the connections between other worlds, especially those that have others appear in our playthrough so far. That, and it is fun to play with the presidents during their gaming time.
Hey, if you can't even move this, you can't call yourself a hero?
Okay, this guy has to be Tarzan, right? I don't know who else it would be.
No, Joe, this still isn't Tarzan. I really hope this isn't going to last the entire playthrough where you'll keep asking if other people are Tarzan when we already saw him before and you didn't recognize him.
Remember how long it took him to realize Solid Snake wasn't really Liquid Snake back in Metal Gear Solid? This is going to go on for a while, so we may as well just accept it now.
Back to the game, Joe, you'll have to break some barrels. I trust you can do that while we get some intel.
All right, Alex, you've been here for a little while, so I think someone needs to ask where you're from. We haven't had our version of Alex on our gaming session, so we're interested in knowing more about you. That, and you seem to have some higher knowledge of the Omniverse that even with our resources at the Daily Wire, we don't seem to have.
Well, firstly, my home universe is gone, along with everyone in it. And secondly, I don't typically like involving myself in the affairs of other worlds, but I intervene when it's important, much like our protagonist here. Most of the time, you should just let it be. Most of the time, things can work themselves out, but when there is corruption, someone or something has to deal with it. It's what's happening here. No, what's happening everywhere, it isn't natural. Recently, in the grand scope of things, everything has been getting crazier and crazier. It was either a cosmic mistake or perhaps some unknown greater force that guided me here. I'm pretty much clueless at the moment. I'm sure if your Alex is anything like me, he probably has a crazy life too. Even crazier than you know. What does he usually get up to?
More recently, he's been losing court appearances and went on an interview with Kanye West, where Kanye was talking about how much he loved Adolf Hitler, so he's been doing quite a lot. I'm not sure if he does any sort of gaming or multiversal research.
What the hell, court appearances, Kanye West and Hitler? It seems your Alex has significantly changed from me. I don't know if I'm like that in every universe. In fact, I could be an outlier. Now that I think about it, in most universes I've been close to, I faintly sense my presence, if at all. I'm unsure how much I relate to my counterpart, but try giving me a chance. I'm sure I'm not a bad guy. I hope. Furthermore, I'm not a bad guy.
I'd hope you're not a bad guy, but yeah, you're kind of crazy in this world and probably others. Glad to know you're at least a bit more rational. We don't really know why our gaming has to do with characters showing up here. In fact, I think it's only happened when we play this game specifically and not any other time.
So you're aware of what's happening here. You're aware that video games can be more than just that, right?
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of having us acting like we're really in the game, but not actually feel pain or anything like that, and also us reacting as if we're aware it's just a game. It's strange to break the fourth wall like that, but it's best you don't think about it too hard.
Pardon my language, but how the fuck is that possible? The gentlemen I've been working with have been tortured, and they felt every bit of it.
Not sure why we have it so much better than your presidents, but I'm glad we don't feel any pain in this game. Like we do, though we do feel a similar pain whenever Joe tells us a story from his youth. And by youth, I mean anywhere from the beginning of his life, whenever that is, to earlier in the day.
Care to explain what's happening here in this movie, real life game thing? I have no idea as to our agency in this matter or of its importance in the long term. Is this the very god of the underworld himself?
Finally, someone actually wants to talk about what's happening on the game. This is Hades, the god of the underworld, and he's apparently trying to get Sora to lose. I think we're fighting in a competition, and we'll get more chances to fight people as we go on. We've been sealing keyholes, so I'm guessing fighting more people will let us open the hole at some point. That tends to send our guests back to where they came.
Hey, I haven't actually watched this movie before. What happens in it?
So at least Barack and I have watched this. Basically, Hercules is taken by Hades and he loses immortality but still has strength, so he trains with Phil and saves the world from Hades. This Coliseum wasn't in the movie, so I'm not sure where this would take place exactly.
I don't actually see Meg or Pegasus here, so maybe it's in the middle where they're still not at Mount Olympus or Thebes yet. This seems pretty new to the game, probably.
Why are there so many globalist puppets in this universe? First the Walt Disney drones, and now the ridiculously haired man-child. When will it all stop? You can just tell he has no free will if he has a hairstyle like that.
That was Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but I'm not sure why he's here. He's wearing some of Vincent's clothing and he's a character from the same game. I doubt he was in the movie, but I'm not sure what he would be doing here. I think Joe's going to have to fight him at some point.
Oh wow, I don't want to fight someone like him. Maybe his pointy hair can be a weakness if I take it out and try to slash him with it. Actually, Sora's hair is pretty pointy too, so I think that would work as well.
That is an interesting idea, but no, you cannot use anybody's hair as a weapon in this game. I did want to say you are doing well, Joe. Granted, these are not difficult enemies to fight, but still, it's nice to see you're not doing badly at all. There's only a few rooms to this world, so there's no real exploring you'll need to do.
It would be fitting for Joe to get the easiest Disney World as his first one, since this doesn't look anywhere near as difficult as the jungle or even Wonderland.
Perhaps you're right, but at least the layout being so straightforward, we won't have to watch him figure out where to go in this place.
This must not sound very reassuring to him while he's trying to play the game.
Don't worry, it's fine. Hey guys, is now a good time to mention that difference about Alex's world having some sort of connection to their presidents? I think that's kind of weird since I'm just playing the game like any other.
Let's go to a different topic before the comments section gets focused on that discrepancy. In addition to being knowledgeable, you also seem to be more powerful than a standard person. Did that affect you when you traveled over here? Last time we had Dark Brandon, and he was much less powerful here compared to his original world.
Aside from a multitude of cybernetic enhancements, I've attained powers never previously dreamed of. Well, I used to have such powers and was significantly stronger, but a multitude of recent events has seen to it that I became a fraction of myself. I'm 99% certain that shifting universes here hasn't costed me any valuable energy, especially since I didn't choose to come here. Who else has been here? You just mentioned a Brandon. Who the hell is that? I can't recall any notable figure with that name or title in my limited memory banks.
Well, we had another version of Joe show up while playing in the Wonderland area who seemed to have been alive much longer than our Joe, and then another entity of darkness that we're still not sure what exactly he is, called Dark Brandon. He possessed Joe last time since he was in a weakened state and needed to be stable. Not sure why that's his name. Let's watch this scene a bit before it's over, though.
To get to him. Come on. Hey, it's like that old goat says. Rule number 11. It's all just a game. So let loose and have fun with it. I mean, a casualty or two along the way. It's no big deal, right? Jeez. Stiffer than the stiffs back home. Still, suckers like him are hard to come by.
All right, Alex, this is the obligated part of the crossover, where one of us asks you about your presidents and unique interactions with them in your respective series.
Obligatory part of the crossover. What the hell are you talking about? I know the presidents I've been associating with as of late are obsessed with YouTube for some asinine reason, but I've never been a part of them. I discovered them through the Vox while they were playing some insane Pokemon fan game. It took them a long time to realize I was even there. It took even me a while to realize I have to wake up. I was with them since near the beginning of their recording. From the freakouts about naming their Aerobomb Hussein to Joe calling Barack a basketball American.
We seem to have a strange ability to break the fourth wall on occasion like we did earlier and at 3 guests, and we're just pretty accepting of the fact that there's going to be quite a few people joining us throughout our adventure. And I'm not even going to ask why any of your characters would make a nickname based on a stereotype of black people, since I bet I'm not going to like any answer you could give for that.
Their Pokemon was named Hussein in honor of your middle name, Barack. I mean, Barry, damn it, which one are you again? My recent group doesn't follow the normality of the Omniverse in their naming schemes.
I don't care if you call me Barry or Barack, as long as it's not one of those racist names.
Wow, I didn't know there were other versions of us that were even more racially questionable. I would never say something like that to you, Barack. I've thought about it many times and was going to tweet about it, but that was around the time I got banned from Twitter. Thankfully, Elon brought me back, so if you see a lot more angry tweets your way soon, don't be surprised.
Oh yeah, thanks, I look forward to it. Is there something we can talk about that's less overtly racist to me, or is this going to be a theme for the rest of the video?
We'll try not to call you a basketball American, but no promises.
Joe, you are going straight to the retirement home. After this, I'm taking you there whether you want to or not, and I'll take over in this game when it's your time.
All right, Joseph, or whichever one of you is playing this game. You're lucky you're able to remote connect to this universe. As the corruption here seems to be rather predictable, otherwise you yourself would have to control Sora here and move around like him. You'd also feel any pain he feels.
Right, there was one other rule. I forgot. Accident happened.
Hey, Phil! Get them out of here!
I'm glad I can't feel any pain, especially with that big dog that came by. Wait, do I fight him now or something?
Yes, Joe, you're going to have to fight him, and no, don't try to pet any of his heads. He's pretty dangerous, and you need to be careful.
All right, guys, I can do this if I just focus, and you better know it's Bidening time.
Kid, I got 2 words of advice for you. Attack!
Alex, are your presidents just like ours based on what interactions you've had with us so far? Is your Joe just as demented as this one? He started to get really strange when he saw Alice back in Wonderland along with his alternate universe counterpart. That is a really weird sentence to actually say out loud.
The group of presidents I've been working with as of late are the oddest mixture of demented and serious. I should have known something was up when I first met them, since they were playing a demented Pokemon game. It's pretty tiring, to be honest. For example, their universe is on the brink of destruction, yet they up to this point have been dead set on continuing to play games. But to answer your question about Joe, yes. Dare I say, this Joe is the calmest one I've ever met.
You must have caught our Joe on a good day, since usually he's a lot more demented by comparison.
Again, he may be different from me, vastly so even, but the same framework of our ego still must remain similar enough. I'm sure your Alex hasn't fallen to darkness. You should chat with him. Well, if his thing is controversy, then it would make sense that if he's controversial with you lot, then it could generate more buzz.
I hadn't thought of it like that, but it's a really good idea. We might have to do that.
I think Ben and I should have given some explanation on how to fight the Cerberus, but Joe, you actually did well while Donald and Alex were talking the whole time.
Yeah, great job, Joe. It is bidening time indeed.
All right, what happens next? Do I seal the keyhole now or something?
Actually, no, at some point we will, but we won't have the ability to quite yet. We'll keep watching and explain things later once we're out of here.
Hereby dub the junior heroes and confer upon the full rights and privileges to participate in the games. Further...
Hey, what do you mean, junior heroes?
You rookies still don't understand what it takes to be a true hero.
So, what does it take?
Well, that's just something you'll have to find out for yourselves.
Oh great, we're trying to save worlds for the president's Final Fantasy and Disney, but this guy is being all vague when he could be helping us way more than he is now.
I'm sure he doesn't realize what's at stake, but yes, he could have said something more that would help us.
There ain't gonna be any games for a while. Gotta clean up the mess from that last battle first.
Okay, we'll be back.
I still can't believe that Squirt actually beat Cerberus.
Just between us, I'd already worn Cerberus down by the time the little guy jumped in.
Oh man, suddenly my bidening time doesn't seem like that great of an accomplishment. Way to go from hero to zero in a moment by learning that.
Don't worry about him, Joe. He wouldn't know a hero if it was right in front of him, and by coincidence, there was one right there, and that was me as soon as we got into this world.
Definitely not what he meant by a hero, but okay.
Hey, are you all right?
Yeah.
So, why did you go along with him anyway?
I'm looking for someone. Hades promised to help. I tried to exploit the power of darkness, but it backfired.
I wonder if he's looking for one of the other people in Final Fantasy VII. If only he got to Traverse Town instead of Olympus Coliseum, he could have met there. I wonder if he has his own gummy ship to get here.
I'm searching too.
For your light? Don't lose sight of it.
How about a rematch sometime? Fair and square, no dark powers involved.
I think I'll pass.
I have to be honest, after that hair flip, I'm starting to feel what that other Joe felt about Alice earlier.
We are not entertaining that conversation, Joe, that'll get us age restricted if we haven't been already.
He's strong. He's kind. He's always there for you. And he's handsome to boot. He's perfect. Perfect.
Perfectly infuriating. He makes me crazy.
Wait a minute. What are you worried about? All the pieces are in place. Relax.
Hey, weren't all of those Disney people working together? Is that what he means by things are all in place?
I think that's what he means, yes.
Who invited you to the party? Stay out of this. This is my show.
As you wish. Fight to your heart's content.
All right, Joe, it's time to head back to Traverse Town. Your goal is to head behind the district with the water and get through to the new area with the Trinity mark. From there, it should be easy to follow what to do.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Oh hey, while Sora was leaving Olympus Coliseum, I had an idea. Maybe we could try helping some of the people that end up coming our way, like Alex.
Help them? What do you mean by that?
I don't think this would work for anyone else, but Alex mentioned there are worlds with some sort of special connection to the presidents where they feel what happens in the game. He also mentioned having less power after splitting himself up. My idea is perhaps instead of having the game hurt him by taking damage, maybe we can heal him to where he can get back home, especially since we didn't seal the keyhole like normal.
That had never occurred to me. Using the unique connection Alex has to the game worlds to help him. I suppose at this point it couldn't hurt to try it.
I was about to say the exact same thing, if you can believe me.
All right, everyone, I'm going to try using Cure on him. Don't ask me how I can aim it at someone not in the game and also while I'm in a cutscene.
Incredible. Just what is this paradoxical universe? How does it even exist as stable as it does with such levels of corruption, where you can affect me with such a thing as an in-game mechanic like that? Well, I must be off. Great thanks to you a lot for aiding me. I don't know if I'll ever see you again, but just know that you helped the Omniverse today. Down with the globalists.
Wow, I wasn't sure that would actually work. I'm sad to see him go, but at least he may be off to get back to his own presidents. I'm not sure if he can hear us, but thank you for spending the time that you did with us. It was very informative, and maybe we can use some of what we learned to save our worlds.
Yeah, he was pretty wild, but fun to listen to. What are we going to do for the next 10 or so minutes while he's gone? Is there something important to do here still?
Yes, there is a bit more. While you should still be reading what to do on screen, we're going to actually seal the keyhole for this world when we weren't able to before. We're also going to do a few smaller activities and see a few more scenes in the 3rd district. We'll cut around to those points so the audience doesn't have to watch us go from one place to the other with nothing interesting in between.
Do I have to fight anything else like that dog with 3 heads? I don't really want to do that again if I don't have to.
You will have to fight something before this part is over, but it's not another dog. In fact, I think the next major fight is a fair amount easier, so you'll be okay.
Is there something special about this book Sid is giving us? I wouldn't imagine a book would be too useful in the fight against the heartless and saving the world.
We might as well just explain it since it's coming up now anyways. There's going to be 2 notable things to obtain here. The first is this book is actually the one that contains Winnie the Pooh characters as part of the 100-acre wood. Across the game, we'll be obtaining various torn pages which allow us to access more story elements. We could do them as we collect them, but for simplicity, we're just going to collect them and do them all at once, so we won't worry about that for quite a while. It also is optional, but there are some good rewards, and it's kind of fun, so we may as well go through it.
The other notable part here is the fairy godmother will allow us to use various items found in the games as summons. Apparently some of the characters who lost their worlds go somewhere else. Not sure how that works, but it's kind of like Alex if I interpreted his story correctly. Anyway, this one here is Simba from the Lion King. We probably won't use the summons much as they aren't generally as useful compared to the standard attacks we have.
I think we should use them at least once each by the end of the adventure just to see what they are like, even if they're not all that useful.
Yeah, we might as well if they're here.
There you are. What's going on?
Riku!
Hey, cut it out.
I'm not dreaming this time. Right?
I hope not. Took forever to find you.
Oh, hey, if Riku is here, that must mean Kairi is here. Oh yeah, I want to see her next.
I hope for her sake she's at least 7 or 8 worlds away from Joe.
Where's Kairi?
Isn't she with you? Well, don't worry. I'm sure she made it off the island too. We're finally free. Hey, she might even be looking for us now. We'll all be together again soon. Don't worry. Just leave everything to me. I know this.
That Heartless just had to come up at that time in particular? Seems like a pretty weird moment to make an entrance.
Leave it to who?
Sora, what did you...
I've been looking for you, and Kairi too, with their help.
Who are they?
We visited so many places and worlds, looking for you.
Really? Well, what do you know? I never would have guessed.
Oh, and guess what? Sora's the Keyblade Master.
The only thing he's mastered is being able to poke out someone's eyes with his hair. I mean, he's good with the Keyblade, especially when I'm playing, but he hasn't done much to qualify for the master rank. I wonder how he would achieve that.
Hey, give it back.
Catch.
Whoa. Okay, so you're coming with us, right? We've got this awesome rocket. Wait till you see it.
No, he can't come.
What?
Forget us.
Oh, come on. He's my friend.
I don't care. Oh, he's gone.
Riku?
Did he disappear like Alex? I don't remember healing him too, but maybe I did by accident.
Oh, well. At least he's okay. And who knows? Maybe we'll run into Kyrie soon, too.
To acknowledge your question, Joe, no, you didn't heal him. He just kind of disappeared with no explanation. I'm not sure how he did it, but he isn't there, though he isn't actually gone yet. He will show up soon, and it will make more sense.
Well, that certainly isn't confusing at all.
Okay, I didn't make it all that clear. I don't know how Riku just vanished, but he still is in the world, just not to where the others can see him. That's what I meant.
Ah, that makes more sense. Apparently the others here know about Maleficent, but I thought she was a Disney character and the others wouldn't know that much since they're Final Fantasy characters.
I don't know if this was mentioned before, but I think they have different backstories compared to being from Rocket Town or the Sectors or Balam Garden, so they probably grew up knowing about her more than the normal game versions.
That's as good an explanation as we're going to get. There's no official reason given on how they know her.
You see, it's just as I told you. While you toiled away trying to find your dear friend, he quite simply replaced you with some new companions. Evidently, now he values them far more than he does you.
If I were friends with a talking duck and dog, I'd probably want to be around them more. That seems more entertaining. Besides, Riku left a minute ago. It's not like Sora just ran away from him.
That is a really good point about him leaving. So far, it's been Riku not being around Sora rather than the other way around, and yeah, he left the other scene, so it's not like Sora isn't trying to find him. I get that they're kids, but he could be a lot more reasonable about this than he's being right now.
Hey, you got a warp gummy. Does that mean we can get to more worlds than we could before?
That is needed, yes, but there's still the matter of sealing the keyhole here, which is possible after this scene.
A bell in the second district? I don't remember seeing a bell, but I think there was some place we couldn't get to before, so let's go over there and see what bell they're referring to.
This ladder must have not been stable before, so it's good somebody decided to fix it after a while. I'm pretty sure this breaks a few OSHA laws since there's nothing protecting someone from falling, especially near the top of this building. I get that there's not fall damage in this game, but still, it's the principle of it not following proper safety guidelines.
Only you would be this focused on the guidelines of buildings in a fictional world. Meanwhile, Joe is actually becoming halfway coherent and good at the game. How is it that Cyborg Alex isn't even the weirdest part of this video?
I'm not really sure on that, Donald, but you make some good points. On a more relevant note to the game, for some reason you have to ring the bell 3 times, so we're skipping ahead to the last ring.
All right, Joe, nothing's in between you and the keyhole now. Except that apparently I didn't see this coming at all.
Didn't I fight this in the third district already? Maybe it's coming back for round 2 with Joe, but it's going to lose just like it did the first time.
You fought something similar, but no, it's not identical. You'll see how it's different in just a moment or so.
I don't know about that one. It's just about the same with the attack patterns and all. Not sure what's special about it. All right, so what, it switches the hands and arms, that's not going to make any difference? I'm sure it's nothing Joe can't handle at this point.
You are kind of correct. There are different attacks due to the changed locations of limbs, although in reality it's not going to change the outcome of the fight. Joe, just make sure you keep yourself healed and hit his limbs, you'll be okay. I personally recommend focusing on one part at a time, such as the hands or feet, and not using much magic except cure, but you can play it differently if you want.
I think I'll do something similar to that. If I have enough magic ready, I'll do a thunder every once in a while, but only if there's some left over to heal, since I don't want to lose any opportunity to keep my health in check. Also, would now be a bad time to tell a story that is related to this. I think it's another great one.
You're going to tell it regardless of our input, so you might as well just tell it.
So there I was going to the store. I knew I had to get some ice cream as I was out at home, so that was my main goal. I suppose Jill wanted me to get a few other things too, like some peanut butter and some water bottles. I went over to the peanut butter and got it off the shelf. I also got the water bottles in the aisle they were in. I made sure to get the ice cream last because I didn't want it to melt. I went to the nearest cash register and the person checked the items out. I left the store with my items and headed home. I realized I got the wrong ice cream flavor, so I told Secret Service and they nuked the whole building. That's for letting me get the wrong ice cream when they should have reminded me which one I really wanted. The end.
I knew that story was too normal for you to tell. How were they supposed to know what ice cream flavor you wanted? There's no way they could have told you that, and now they're all out of a job and also out of life as we know it.
I had the building evacuated before the nuke came down, so it's fine. Actually, I may not have given that order before it dropped, so it's possible they were still in when it happened. I'm not sure.
Although Joe's story was horrible as always, at least he made it through the fight. Okay, so we're nearly done for now.
Those stories are always really bad, but this one is even worse than normal somehow.
We'll talk about that new spell later, but for now, it's pretty much done for the episode. Alex, if you can hear us from where you are, thank you for the time you spent teaching us about the worlds you're involved in.
Joe, aside from that awful story, I'm glad you played well today. I think I'm up next time, so I'm excited for what and who is coming by.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.